Happy Saturday. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Tennessee dusts off Albany 21-6 today. The Bats came to life. The wind was blowing, and Tennessee made good use of that wind today. Couple of just absolute massive bombs that were hit today, but just a good overall day for the team. Started off a little bit slow in the game, and but I mean, they got down 1-0 in the first inning. Did not score till the fourth inning, but man, once they did, the floodgates open. And I don't know what it is about this team and these slow starts, but you get it was kind of the same way against ETSU the other night. A few innings in, and all of a sudden the floodgates open, and it's not mattered who they've gone with lineup wise, as it's still been that slow going to start, but. Still a good day. A good day from the lineup. Tony Vitello totally switched the lineup today as he gone back to more of that ETSU lineup than he did what had been the norm. As last night, he'd kind of gone back to his last weekend lineup and his Asheville lineup. Tonight, kind of went back with Christian Moore leading off and so on. I'll get into that lineup in just a minute. But, 21-6, and this was a game that was over by the fourth inning. It allowed Tennessee to get a lot of guys in today, so that's another good day. But let's start right into it with the stats breakdown for Tennessee. So you look at their batting for today. Christian Moore led off 1 for 3, 1 walk, 2 runs, no RBIs or anything. Bradkey Laurie took his place later on. He was 0 for 1. He had a walk and a run. Dylan Dowling hit second today. He was 1 for 2, 2 runs, 1 RBI. He walked twice. No strikeouts on that. One stat I'll get to on the day that I'm looking at is Tennessee did have 8 strikeouts on the day. So I've said it. I said it last night. I think you just have to accept at this point, this is a team that's going to strike out a lot. They don't get shorted on their swings. They're going to strike out a lot. Only 2 of them were caught looking. The rest of them were swinging, so at least they're swinging on those. One of them was Reese Chapman. It was a pretty nice breaking ball that kind of left him not knowing what to do on that one. And then Alex Perry, a K looking as well. But Dowling, 1 for 2, 2 walks, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Alex Perry took his place, JUCO guy. He was 0 for 1. He did have a walk and a run. He did strike out once. Billy Amick, 2 for 5, 1 run, 3 RBIs, a double. He did have 1 strikeout as well. Camden Bates took his place later on, and looks like he walked, had 1 run. Kavaris Tears, 1 for 3, 1 run, 4 RBIs, 1 absolutely massive bomb. If you were watching the game and you saw the bombs that Tears and Robin Villeneuve both hit, they were massive. Both of them over the wall in dead center field. I'm in and out on the game, trying to do things while I'm watching. So, I did not hear how far those home runs were, but they were easily over 400 feet because they cleared those. It says 390 in center. That wall is pretty high. So you can kind of give a take. I'm assuming probably at least 430, somewhere around those, around that range. But Tears 1 for 4. He had the 1 home run. He did have 1 strikeout. He had a sac fly as well. Colby Backus took his place later on. And I thought it was interesting, too. Tears started in center today. They actually gave Hunter Inslee the day off, as he didn't even play today. I don't know if it was an injury. I don't know if it's just giving him a day off or what it was. But, interesting decision that they went with there today. But Backus 0 for 1. He had a walk and a run. Cannon Peebles 1 for 3, 3 RBIs. He had a double. He had 2 walks. He had 1 run. He was replaced later on by Charlie Taylor, who walked in his 1 appearance. Like I said, Villeneuve today, he started and left. He moved to first base later on. He was 2 for 3, 2 RBIs. Again, he hit a massive bomb as well today. It was pretty much dead center. He had 1 walk, 3 runs scored. Good day for him. And that's a bat. They're going to have a hard time keeping that bat out of the lineup based on what we're seeing. Because right now, through the games he's played, he's hitting He's hitting 583. You're going to have a real hard time keeping that bat out of the lineup right now. You just are, and I think things are starting to come into form a little bit. Blake Burke, another good day for him, 2 for 4. He had 2 doubles. He had a run scored, no strikeouts, which is big. Again, he had a stolen base. So I think he come out slow. Now looking at where he's at for the year, he is at. I'm glad to see they corrected it on D1 baseball, but he's up to for average. Blake Burke's up to 312, and I see people talking about, well, should we bench him? No, absolutely not. I mean, you got to give him. If he would just been striking out, if he hadn't started hitting the ball a little better, maybe so. But he's starting to hit it well now, and it's. I like the home run last night. He went the opposite way with it. And it's not just all or nothing with him. I think he's starting to become a little more of a complete hitter, which is big for him. And he's still at 7 strikeouts. That was kind of where he was at first of the week. And, we'll take that with Blake Burke. We'll take what he's doing. And his average has come up a lot just here in the last few games. So he's making progress, man. And that's big. This team needs Blake Burke. This team needs Blake Burke. He's a pro prospect for a reason. So good game for him today. Reese Chapman took his place. Chapman finally got on the board with the hit. I was happy to see that. He had a double that cleared the bases later on, got 3 RBIs. He was 1 for 2 with the run. Like I said, he did strike out. He got caught looking. It was a pretty wicked breaking ball that he saw on that. Dean Curley, again, 2 strikeouts for him, but 1 for 4, 3 RBIs. He had a home run again today. Playing good defense. Ariel Antigua, if he had that job before, he's going to have a hard time getting it back right now. Curley is sitting at 333 on the season through the 3 games he's played. He's playing good defense. He shows good range. From what I had heard what I had read back in the fall was Curley was the guy to look out for. It was really impressive. So he did play some third base later on in the game as well. So that was or he can play. I don't know. It's got him listed shortstop third, but it doesn't have anybody else listed for third base other than Amick. And there it had Amick. So, Camden Bay. Okay, Bates come in. There we go. Bates went to short. Curley moved over to third. There it is. Hunter High was 0 for 2 on the day. Dalton Bargo, 3 for 4. Good to see him with that game. He had a home run today, a 2-run shot. He had a double as well, as he was in DHing today, batting 9th. Good day for him. Ian Payne with his patented 0 for 1 today. He did have a walk, though, as well. So, good day at the plate for this team. As I'm counting, they had 15 hits today. Now, on to the pitching, though, today. Pitching, I didn't think was stellar, but, it got the job done as well. And just from a fielding aspect, no errors today. So that's what you always want to see. Good fielding team, good defense behind the pitchers. But Beam went 5 innings today. He got the win. He gave up 2 runs, 6 hits. He had 4 strikeouts, no walks. I think that's big for him. He threw 71 pitches. Aaron Combs come in. He faced 3 batters. He went 1 inning. He had a fly ball out and a ground ball out. Dylan Loy, lefty. I thought he looked good, freshman lefty. He had gave up 1 hit. He had 2 strikeouts, no runs in his inning. Luke Payne come in. He gave up 1 run. He had 2 walks. That's what got him in trouble. He did have 2 strikeouts. He gave up a hit as well. And then J.J. Garcia pitched the 9th. And, probably not the outing he looked for. 1 inning, 3 runs. He gave up 4 hits. He did strike out 2. He struck out a guy to end the game. But Albany put together 12 hits today. Beam, I think he did it. It was a Drew Beam outing for him. It was solid. It was 5 innings. It wasn't. There's a lot of times Beam doesn't just blow you away with his outings, but he's consistent. He gets the job done on that. So you got to like what he did today. He got those 5 innings out of it. And I wasn't sure last night when I recorded, or when I did the live show, but they said A.J. Russell was removed for precautionary reasons last night. So that bears watching moving forward. Doesn't sound like anything serious, but Vitello said, hey, I want my guys to be honest when something's going on. And Russell must have alerted him to something going on with his arm last night, because you don't want to, you can't afford to lose any of your starting pitchers. I don't think this is a deep starting pitching team right now, but there's a lot of good pitchers on this team, if that makes any sense. I mean, there's some guys like Causey, like Nate Snead, possibly, that can move into that starting rotation. And it'll be interesting to see where they go tomorrow. Do they go? I would suspect they'll give Xander Sechrist another shot, but there's a lot of guys fresh. You probably want to see Snead throw a little bit. Could he possibly start tomorrow? They threw Combs today, got him a little bit of time. I think Sechrist and Snead will both definitely throw tomorrow. You got to factor in what other guys have we not seen this weekend as well. So that's, they've not had, they used more pitchers last night. They got some young guys some work in today, which was good. So now it's just finishing off this sweep of the weekend. And it's like anything. I think they'll probably handle the game tomorrow well, but you just cannot take a game in college baseball for granted. You just can't. We've seen the upsets this weekend. We saw Stony Brook over LSU. We saw Kennesaw State smash Clemson last night. Ole Miss got beat. Kentucky got beat. Mississippi State got beat this week. I mean, it's just, you can't take these games for granted. So, and Albany they've shown that they can hit the ball decent this weekend. I mean, they come up last night with the tying run at the plate. So it's, it's not a great baseball team, but, they're hitting the ball pretty well on it. And a lot of their last night was self-inflicted. If they don't self-inflict last night, it's a totally different ball game going in that ninth inning. So, again, you can't take it for granted. But I like that Tony switched the lineup back. You guys that listen to me, I'm big on Christian Moore leading off. I heard another one last night. I found somebody recording after last night. And one guy said, well, I want him up with runners on. He's not coming up with runners on in the first inning. That applies one time. That applies one time in the game. If you're wanting him on, that means your 1 and 2 guys have to get on base. Okay? That factors in one time. A guy leads off the game one time. Okay? I want him, especially if you're bottom of the order, does their thing and gets on, Nick comes back around to the top, you got Christian Moore waiting at the top. That's what I want. I want my guy, case in point, Ronald Acuna, Atlanta. I don't know if the Yankees still do it because Judge was hurt last year, but I loved it when the Yankees were leading Aaron Judge off. Mookie Betts leading off for the Dodgers. I love having those guys up to lead off. Love it. That's my guys I want up there. This is not your 80s teams where you need a Vince Coleman up there leading off. It's not where you need an Otis Nixon. Ricky Henderson was kind of the exception, the norm. He could hit for power. I mean, he obviously all-time stolen base leader, the greatest leadoff hitter of all the time. But he was a little different than everybody else as well because he could hit for a little bit of power. He had some years where he had over 20 home runs, which back then was a lot for a leadoff guy. Back a few years back when Jacoby Ellsbury was leading off for Boston, loved it. I love that type of leadoff hitter who can give you a little bit of everything. Inslee's not a leadoff guy. He's going to be your center fielder. I think he's a bottom third of the lineup guy, but I want Christian Moore. I don't know. I'll go to my grave on it. Christian Moore is the leadoff guy for this team because he brings everything to the table. He can get on base. He can steal bases. And if it swings back around, he can make something happen with it as well. But thank you guys that have tuned in with me on these live shows. Audiences hadn't been much. It's baseball. It's building a brand. But thank you guys. Thank you for the support. Make sure you like this thing. And, if you like what I'm bringing, you're a repeat listener, and I hope you are. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. And, lots of things coming moving forward. And tonight, we'll test out the live basketball market after the game. Tennessee, Texas A&M. If you haven't listened already, I dropped a preview last night right after the baseball game. Tennessee, Texas A&M preview. I'm excited about that one. I hope the Vols come out with revenge in mind tonight. But I'll see you guys around 10 o'clock. Frank Rock, House of Orange. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And as always, go Vols.
Everyone rejects